Just wanted to welcome everyone to our first really a meeting in a really long time of the Global Heart Resonance Council, and those people that are really holding the field for so many to come in. And we also want to hold in the field Danama and Michelle and June and Julie. Hope that I've got everyone. Hoping that some of you show up, but in the meantime, we're just going to start this call. So welcome Oriana and Henry and Nahid, and Oriana is going to open with some resonance for us. Thank you.
Get it by the microphone now. So can you hear me okay now? Okay. I'm just taking a deep breath in and a big sigh. And sigh like slipping into a warm bath where you didn't even know you were tense and just, then you just let go. And then feeling the hum, I wonder where it comes from. I wonder. What does it feel humming? With my heart. Where one heart is humming. I wonder what it feels being one heart. And I am complete.
A sweet opening. Thank you. And welcome, June. I put you on mute just so that I'll unmute you. You're unmuted, June. So we see you in your car. Do you want to get home?
No, I'll miss half the call if I go home. I just got out of a doctor's office taking my cast off my broken wrist.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just sitting here with a cup of coffee and some cashews in my car.
All right, all right. So you can mute yourself if you want to for a minute, or I can just mute you when.
Anyway.
Okay. So.
Okay, why don't you mute me?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the heart. Welcome everyone to this call. And this call is really just to come together, to reunite, to share our experience of the Heart Resonance call, as well as Love Lives Here. You know, what moved for you during that, as well as really opening to a deeper and wider presencing of love through our collective, with the focus of really cultivating this ethos of wholeness. And so it really just not much of an agenda, a few things that I wanted to bring up, and I have those documents. Hopefully you took a look at them. So, and if you didn't, that's okay, because we'll just talk about them and sort of reform and reclarify going forward into the fall, so to speak, but with not a lot of pressure, really having everything that we're experiencing as a collective. And for those of you that are new and coming to being a part of the Resonance Council, then to really get a greater understanding of what we as a collective are wanting to invite people into, and what have we, and how do we want to shift some of that as well. So I think first just taking a moment, just taking a couple of minutes, a couple of minutes each, and just sharing simply, this is a get to connect with each other and what's moving. For those of you who have been part of the 6-year call, June and Nahid, just sharing some of your experiences of that, and as well as, you know, what is moving for you, and how you see yourself really bringing this resonance forward, and why is it important to you. So there's a couple of things there. Just, you know, trust your own heart, share, and why don't we each have you know, at least 3 minutes to share, and then we'll kind of move forward into the call. So welcome everyone, and I'd like to start, June, I'd love to start with you, because you have been from the very beginning, from the time of mentor immemorial, as well as Nahid, but also have been part of this public resonance call. So if you would just, just share what's coming to you, and how you're feeling, and well, let me take you off mute. Hold on.
Not sure how to do this exactly on my phone. Well, I'm not hearing anything.
Sorry, I put myself on mute.
You're good, June.
You're okay, June. You're on.
Oh, good. All right. Well, welcome everybody. I'm June from Northern California, San Francisco Bay Area, and it's really there's so many words and so many feelings and awarenesses that go with what has happened being a part of this incredible circle. Every time that we meet, every time that we have a call for the public, it calls us to go deeper and to be more mindful and aware of who we are, and what is that atmosphere, that resonance that we build around us, so that we can interact with and understand and work through things in a remarkable way when we can do it in that kind of resonance. And I want to say that for myself, one of the things that I find so important at this point about being in this resonance call and using the skills and the love base that it's involved in, is because so many people seem so lost in a lot of ways. They're working hard, they're moving towards things, but they don't seem to have the energy or the awareness to see that there's a way to stop all the press and the tension and the worry, and find a peaceful, loving space where they can stop level and join with others in that same space. And what's happening with this call is providing that environment, and my being involved not only in this call, but in working with my clients as a psychotherapist and as a mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. I really can't begin to say the immense the changes that can take place when we meet other people from this place, when we learn that at the deepest level of who we are resonance, we are love, and that no matter what's in front of us, coming from that place, we can work with it. We can maybe not solve it to the way we would definitely want it to be, but we will certainly get a compromise or a place in between that allows us to keep working with people, keep wanting to, grow and open ourselves. So that's probably my 3 minutes, but anyway, I just can't say enough about the grace, the dignity, and the depth of love that comes from this group and goes out into the world because of it. And I welcome everyone who wants to be in it with us to be here in deep love and deep grace. And I'm complete. Thanks.
Thank you, and welcome to Nawa. Woohoo! Glad to have you. So we're just going around and sharing our experience of starting with Nahid and then yourself, if you will. Just our experience of the 6-year journey of the resonance, and just what's ever moving for you in terms of, the Residents Council and what's ever coming up. We're just kind of getting to really create the field together. Yeah. So Nahid, if you want to jump in. Nahid, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello again. I am from Southern California, Santa Monica, and I have found myself to be home. We call it home frequency, yes, my love. I have found myself home within this group. Actually, since 2012, because of the resonance of the field, I've been able to connect within a larger group and experience the more expansive aspect of myself, I would say. It's like coming every week, most of the time I've been there, I would say, that to attune my instrument, to do my attunement, and then go back. I have learned to express the level, the depth of my loving that actually I haven't had the courage to do it in the external world. It's like the safety and the trust of the space has allowed me to become more expressive, sometimes even in a weird form and strange for myself. So it's like I found my newness, truly. I found my newness in the field with you. And what is here after this many years, I have become more of that which I've been longing for. I am it. And in residing in the frequency, being the field, speaking from the field, this is my gift. This is my gift to me and all that I need. So this is my love. This is my fun. This is my work. This is all of it. To be with those, I was reading from Rumi the other days, nothing is better to sell figs to fig sellers. Nothing is better to sell figs to sell fig sellers. That is how it is. It's like I found the fig sellers. What I have to give is received. And in that, I experience my joy. Thank you. Yeah.
Dina, do you want to jump in? I know you're watching, we know you're watching baby.
Yes, he's giggling and trying not to fall asleep. But he loves to hear the sound. He loves the frequency of this call. He just immediately goes, I'm here, I'm with you. You know, it's been his desire. Well, wow. I have been on, of course, a major life journey. And ever since we came together back in 2012, I guess, is when we started this call on a regular basis. And I just feel like I've grown up together with most of us, and then finding other family members along the way who resonate and have the vibrational match, the frequency draw to be here is very enriching and very supportive, very comforting, and very inspiring. I've found such amazing insights from the collective resonant field that we have and are creating, this is the deepest watering hole of all the collective calls and communities I'm part of. This is where I am fed, in the sense I am rejuvenated and nourished at the broadest expanse of my being. And in that journey and in that learning and self-discovery, more and more of what I had attached myself to as being, I am no longer attached. It is an inner journey, and I'm finding that home frequency right here in my heart. All of us are right here in my heart. And it is from this place that I align my creativity, my consciousness, my power point as a co-creator. And it is here that I continue to build and strengthen my own sovereignty, trusting the power I am as the one representing and expressing the whole of us. So I think that's all for now. I made myself cry, which is not hard to do, but here we go. I'm deeply moved by myself. I love you all.
Henry and then Oriana, you can jump in.
Yes. Ditto. What everybody shared. And I was also kind of noticing the unique portals or doorways of each person. And the richness of that, different variations of the heart, different colors, frequencies that when they all come together, it brings us to a deeper place. Also, I also agree that this is one of the deepest, or maybe the deepest place to do that. So it's kind of attuning. I guess that's what it's intended to be for me. And it's given the opportunity to share, to be in community. I have not had things like that lasted for 5 years or even 1 year or even a few months, well, maybe a few months. So a part of me has really been yearning for this. And my yearning is here in the connection with the heart and each of us is honoring of that place. So I'm grateful, and also it's not just a coming together in the heart, but also, as people have expressed, it's opening to the wisdom, to the inspiration, to the richness of awareness and understanding of all of that we tap into, and that we invite and that we embrace. So I'm very grateful for being here, and I guess that's enough for now. Thank you.
Ariana, you want to jump in? I know having this baby, talk about heart resonance.
I know, Lucas. So cute. He's like our mascot, you know. Oh, and I had such a good giggle out of Dinama. You cracked yourself up. You cracked me up as well. Am I too far away from my microphone again? Okay, you can hear me okay? Well, while I was watching Lucas and listening to Henry and noticing the dolphin over Henry's shoulder, and then when I'm sitting today, I'm watching the dolphin over my shoulder along with the whale. See the whale? It's going through the portal. And the field that we refer to, and we feel that it's calling us, and we feel each other in the field. And I wonder what it feels to be in the field as a dolphin or a whale moving through that living water. And knowing, watching little Lucas, and knowing that the heart as an embryo, the embryo is unfurling and unfolding around the heart, and it is one full cycle of the moon after conception, that the little embryo looks like a little beluga whale. And it's then that these sporadic cells of the heart begin to pulse, bum, 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 and then bum, 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 they syncopate, bum, 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 bum. And the heart begins to beat. So it feels that we are coming together with that same feel of being called forth and sporadically doing what we do in the world to bring us here into this feeling of deeper resonance within the heart. And as we are sporadic in our expression, we come together as this council to begin to syncopate. Boom, 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 boom. To be the pacer cells, as they're called. And to really feel what is it that brings us into that syncopation. And it's that calling from something higher than we know. Something beyond what we can imagine, we could even plan. Something of our future unfolding that's calling us forth as we are encoded within to unfurl and unfold to something so far beyond what we can imagine, any more than a caterpillar can imagine being a butterfly, but it can imagine flying, what it would feel to fly. And we can imagine coming together heart first and feeling what it feels. To fly. Wow, what if we could syncopate the rhythm that allowed us to fly in a way beyond what we can imagine. And as Nahid said, the being here to be in service to it, that I am a universal translator as I've learned the rhythm of how this field is encoded within us in a rhythm that is a fractal pattern unfurling and unfolding. And the reading of it is like if you just felt bumps and raises and didn't know what they were unless you knew how to read Braille. And then it would all make sense. So in essence, I've learned to read Braille of this rhythmed, patterned unfurling and unfolding. And as such, it's what syncopates that unfurling and unfolding to the next level that we're feeling. We're all feeling called to it. So it's a way that we can come into a greater harmonic knowing that allows us to all move to that next level. And I am complete.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. So I'm just going to share into the field from this beautiful experience that really became clear to me in 2011, where I did meet Nahid and Dinama and June, Julie, and so many others. What began to happen in me was this somewhat immediate awakening or I like to kind of almost go with understanding of this energy, because everything is energy that we're calling the field. And to kind of grow through this connection, grow this understanding of the forces of nature and how this vibratory field that's being spoken about affects and influences everything. And just for some of us that weren't there, it was a very interesting journey for many of us, because we were introduced to the wheel of co-creation from Barbara Marx Hubbard, and at that time, what was really interesting was there was not the understanding that the hub of the wheel was resonance. And I can remember sitting in the IONS, mentor retreat, and being told to pick a sector, and I remember raising my hand, going like, but like for me, it's not about any of the sectors. It's about the heart. It's about the heart, which is the center of the hub. And it didn't get quite acknowledged at that time, but over through our experience of coming together, many of us began to really realize, with actually Barbara Marx Hubbard realizing way after we were holding that field, like going, no, actually it's the heart, it's the resonant field that feeds each and anything that we're doing, whatever sector that is. And out of that experience grew this Monday morning call. And for me, I I guess I haven't wavered since then, because nothing has changed that connection other than as been described, this experience or expansion of this deeper embodiment. And that's kind of what I want to speak to, because so much of at least my experience is about not taking anybody anywhere. You know, there's many, many teachers and many offerings and many incredible opportunities. But when you think of an oasis, and that was really this understanding that got embedded in our living systems, was that it was this oasis was literally just coming and stepping in, and the water itself feeds and nourishes and informs. And this was a really interesting experience, at that. And then, and additionally to that was this, as we drop in and we experience, and I love these expressions that sort of evolved out of Good of the Whole, which was experience, embody, express, and expand. We get it is the result of dropping in deeper into this experience that we expand, and we not only go deeper, but we go wider in this love field, right? Which is really, and it was the field itself that held us together while different things were happening and people were going different directions, but somehow the love of what we described as this organism, which was really new languaging at that time and over time, because everyone was talking about an organization, and we had to come together in organizational form, which is actually part of another paradigm, which we really shifted out of. And this experience of understanding that this field is undulating and growing and expanding and informing it, and all we're doing is holding this field so it can inform us, period. And one of the beauties I've experienced through this is, I used to think, you got to be an individual and then you go do the collective thing. But over time, I totally began to realize that if you come into this field, this unified field of experience, it grows the individual exponentially. And that, I believe, is all of our experiences. And that's what we're holding. That's why it's so potent. That's why people step in and they start crying, because they do experience what, we've been calling the home frequency, which is our natural watery habitat that allows for us to become more compassionate. It's not trying to become or being taught how to become. Where actually the field itself nurtures and restores. And that's, for me, I guess really my calling is to, and I believe each one of you, if you're sitting here today, there is some aspect of that moving within. And therefore, it's really important that we understand how to move out of the languaging of I. Because as soon as we say I, we create separation. And people can't feel into the field. So there are some key components to this experience that we hold. So I think that's it. I mean, I'm just so grateful that you guys are that you're all here, and that you're showing up, and that Michelle sent a note. Grace was I think she was coming out of a doctor's, and Michelle said it didn't really work out. She's got a son, and everyone's starting school. So just honoring and holding them in this field. So with that, I kind of feel I want to just kind of, maybe we each can take a part, and also thank you for being willing, because I can see that here and there the voice is going in and out. It's not dropping totally, but I noticed that, here and there, as people begin, just slow down. You just had to keep breathing. because they would come back in, and isn't that the truth? So that's my share, and I'm just really happy to be here. Now, mind you, in my head, I kept thinking an hour. My sense is, if we could at least go, till an hour and 15, just to build this understanding of what we're doing here and why we've come together. So I'm going to be quiet, and let's just see if anything's moving within, if there's something that's really moving from everything that's been shared. Please keep it to a minute if something's moving for you. And then I'm going to share the resonance doc and explain how that evolved. And then we'll each be, not right now, but we will be expanding it and developing it and having a voice in, how to take this further, with the understanding and the feeling that probably in the fall, or at least the beginning of the year, and it could be the beginning of the year, I keep looking at Lucas, that, there has been really a call for a resonance training, people that really would like to run their own circles, people that, and what is it that's important for them to understand. So with that, I'm complete.
This is Oriana. And can you hear me? I'm too far away again. Okay. Well, first, Shelley, I wanted to say you're the only one that's garbling up and slowing down. So I think it's your connection in the house you're in it's doing that. No one else has got a problem with, at least from my perspective. But just so you know, everybody else has an okay connection. Yeah. But we're patient with you. We're just letting you go through it all. But I do have a question that this may not be the time to discuss it, but at some point, the more clarity around your idea of I being separate and to not language it seems to me to be almost a spiritual bypass. And the reason being, after mentoring with Barbara and Mark for the last year, one of the things that we really looked at was to have a unique sense of self, a strong sense of ego, not to make the ego wrong as separate. Not even the way you're holding it, to me, feels separating. And there's a place where all of that evolves to something more powerful and more cohesive and harmonic.
Yeah, I will, and I'll explain a little bit more why I said that. But I understand what you're saying, and I'm so much about cherishing the ego that it's not really, I'm going to move back to where I was. I don't know, I was trying to see if there was a better place to be, but thank you. And I think, anyway, this is a huge, important piece in the conversation. And it's more of a, it's not, yeah, let's just hold that, let's all hold that. And it's a huge part of the conversation. So I agree with you. And yeah.
May I add to that? Or you don't want to continue that conversation?
No, it's here. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to add what I heard, and especially in this context, when we start with the heart resonance and we drop the ego, drop into the field, and when it's coming back and speaking, it is really the I inherently has the we within itself. So the I is speaking from the field. The I is the field, and the we is already there. Because anyway, it is unique experience after experience are here. So I don't know, I always have problem with that. How to do that? It just dances where I am itself, and I'm not. I don't intend to have my awareness on the I or we, because where I am is that expression in whatever form is coming out of me. Thank you.
This is Dinama, and I believe that's a very crucial point of perception. The illusion of separation, which we all chose to experience for our soul growth and knowing, is very much being attached to identity. That's the piece I'm coming to understand. It's the attachment to the identity of I that holds the consciousness somewhat in separation and in a false identity. So that's the piece I feel all of us through our own path, through our own heart knowing, is it's a shift. It's not letting go so much as a shift from the I of separation, which is attached to identity, and the I speaking for the whole of us. As much as we were speaking of the being way out there, I'm getting much more connected with the heart being way in there to the point of infinity. And it is that pulse, that vibrational frequency informing us, that is, I feel, calling me to hear, to be that heart pulse. And in that individuated expression, there's no separation. There's the knowing of the unity, which we are. And that is the embodiment of holistic, or the consciousness of wholeness. So it's a very exciting and exploratory place we are together, and I'm deeply grateful to be with you consciously in this journey. So I'm complete with that. And Lucas agrees.
Hello, everyone. And as I'm sitting here listening to us talk about I and we, what I really am trying to get in touch with is that sometimes when I hear talk about the I and the we, it's almost as if somehow there's a loss if we let go of the I and embrace the we. And what I see the we as is an expansion of the I, that it's all of us expanding into the parts of ourselves and the parts of the universe that it takes, that is the makeup of that we, and that the we is simply a stronger I in the sense of the resonance. You can have resonance with yourself, the I, but when the I has resonance with the we, it's this much more incredible strength, and it's a oneness of the we. it's so hard to put into words the difference between the I and the we. And I have grown to not finding any difference between the I and the we. It's like I don't lose myself if I go into the we. I find myself when I go into the we. And so it's just interesting to hear the different ways in which we can hold all this and what it means to resonance itself. So thanks for this discussion. It's really very interesting, and I'm complete.
Just I want to add something short. What I'm present to, it is actually less of the word and more of the toning, the frequency, the embodiment of the expression of that moment. That by itself is saying it all. You may say, I from an individuated, separate consciousness, and saying we from that place. It's just the words. It is the frequency, is the resonance, it is the embodiment, it's that which the wholeness is the wholeness that we bring into the space. I think for me that would do it. I'm not attached to any of those two.
Well, thank you. And I think yeah, so I receive what everyone's been saying, and my understanding is exactly that. I think for me as well, really holding this field together for so long, there is, how it gets held and how it gets that frequency speaks can expand the experience that's happening in such a beautiful way. And I think I was speaking to it more as when we, for new people that are coming in, sometimes it's very exciting to notice the individuals on the screen. In fact, even when we started, remember, it was like tricky, all of a sudden we're like looking at boxes. And so what I really was speaking to was this place as holders of the field to support the understanding of what each person has said, so that when someone comes in and they get, we've seen it, someone goes, oh my God, Henry, what you're saying, oh my God, Janama, you're amazing. And they they tell a story and they're in that story, and we're writing and we're breathing with them, but also when there's like this whole other experience. And I think for me, the we is the collective consciousness that's informing the field, as the field, and we each, like Henry was saying, we each have unique colors and ways that we communicate, So I really thank you and hope that kind of satisfies more of what you were talking to, Oriana. And yeah, so I mean, for now, that feels really good. Does that feel pretty good? Yeah. Okay.
I have a couple of questions from the document. Shelley?
Yeah.
I have a question regarding the document that you sent. Can I ask the question?
Yeah, I was going to pull it up so people, so I could, but if you want to jump in and ask a question.
It is on the one that for GHR call to wholeness. On the first page, and then you're talking about what is resonance. I wanted to read the last sentence of the first paragraph.
Okay, so why don't you just let me put it up so people can see what you're talking, because that's what I was going to do. And also, you kind of got, like, I just whizzed something together for you. And
No, I am printing the one that you sent
right.
today. Okay.
Oh, today. Okay, perfect. Okay. So let me just share the screen. So let me just first ask, it's, we've been on for an hour, about an hour. So can people stay on another 15 minutes or you need to go? June, you okay? Okay. All right. So hold on 1 minute.
Can I just say quickly?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't need to, but so it's kind of the I and the other, sacred self, sacred other, that we're like polarities of a battery. And to experience that kind of oneness or connection, we need that. But then when we meet where we're neither the lover, the loved, and we are the love. So anyway, that's enough.
Oops, doesn't want to get any bigger. Hold on. Let's see if I can put, there we go. All right. So let me just explain something about this. This document, for those of you who are just seeing it for the first time, this developed from a survey that we did a number of years ago, actually. And then was worked, I sort of massaged it, and it's from the response pretty much from June, Dinama, myself, I think Catherine Brewer, and I can't think of, at the bottom of the page it kind of, so June, Dinama, and Catherine Brewer, and myself. So that's how the original document got developed, was we were asking these questions. And is this the one that you're talking about, Nahid, or are you talking about the other one? Yeah, okay. So what I want to say to this, and we don't, obviously don't have a lot of time tonight, but is to, one other thing. So also this come to the oasis, received and be nurtured has kind of been shifted in this public resonance call. So more speaking about the field. So these are things that we would want to look at, and I can add and share, and we can actually go over this. So you're talking right now. So anyway, basically the questions were really simple. What is resonance? Why is resonance vital for building a world that works for all? How does resonance affect an individual and a community? And the practice of resonance itself. Okay. So this is a draft in process. So just please hold it like that and understand that you're welcome to go through this, ask yourselves the same question, and write out what is important to you, and we will, build or expand this document. And if you also have a question that you feel like would be great for people to look at, because this is a document, if someone was coming in to this training, or when they go and click on the call, they actually receive this document. So we can develop it. So that's all I want to say. Nahid, go ahead.
So if you go, what is resonance? Go down a little bit more. At the end of the first paragraph. So if you read from here, this action, the last sentence of the first paragraph, this action of creating sympathetic vibrations. Would you read that and see if it does sound? Okay. So again, so just remember, this document hasn't been really looked at in, a long time. Okay. So this action of creating sympathetic vibrations allows for an entrainment between the two or more vibrating systems or fields, in which the more coherent and ordered field influences the less ordered field, which then reorganizes into greater wholeness, balance, and harmony.
Now it made sense what you read.
I think also this was created to help someone who may not even know what resonance is, when they can understand it from a musical standpoint. That's what that was about. and then it goes into something. So what I would say to anybody here is, if you're using this document as it stands, take what is meaningful for you, add what else you want. This is just a baseline document to help new people understand this yes that they're having to come. It gives more explanation. Anybody else?
If you go to the second page, it says, how does resonance affect an individual and a community?
Yeah.
Yeah. Read the first sentence, please.
Okay. In an individual, the direct experience of resonance can find an internal place of peace and self-acceptance where they can heal, grow, dream, and consciously act in ways that are healthy, strong, and non-judgmental and inclusive.
So when that place of direct experience of resonance can find an internal place of peace and self-acceptance, is that the home? You are referring to home frequency here? Because it is individual experience. So individual is
right. And so this, and you'll notice that this document was written without talking about the home frequency, what we're describing as the home frequency, right?
Oh. I mean, I always have used for the individual that, to attune to their own inner compass.
Yeah.
I mean, it is home frequency, their own resonance of their own heart. And then they can heal, grow, dream, and consciously act. So, I mean, that is the kind of things that.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is exactly why we're coming together, to take a look at this. And I love what you're saying. I mean, to me, it's a real addition and upgrade to how this document reads. So that's, so obviously the, encouraging thing is to take a look and what resonates with you, what doesn't, what would you like to add? What do you feel is important? I mean, again, this was done a few years ago. So
what I like that in the document, divine love was not used, but universal love did. Because always for me to question what is not divine. I mean,
right.
Everything. And then that brings kind of, the human and the divine, but just saying universal love is kind of encompasses all. That was more meaningful for me. And in the other document,
Okay, hold on. Wait, let me just pull it up. So let's just take a minute here. And I'm just going to stop the sharing just because we want to just give anyone else is there anything else that people, obviously we can want to talk about coming back together, but is there anything that anybody wants to jump in with at this moment? And then I'll bring up the other document. Is that all right?
Just a small thing, but that's more the way it's set up. Is kind of the ideas are not visually, but I guess that's probably the state of the process, that paragraphs and lines, like on the part that we were just looking at. But
so are you saying you want to see some visuals?
no.
Okay, sorry, I lost you.
No, I'm just saying that it looks like you have 4 paragraphs there on the how does resonance affect an individual and a community, and so it's just kind of editing to have it fit a little more coherently. That's all.
I mean, I think the idea is that we need to come together and just share what's moving for us, and just make sure that we're all resonant with what it's saying, because people don't get what is a resonance call, so they don't really understand what resonance is or what we're offering. So, having a document like this is something, that can be sent out when somebody comes into the call or signs up, and they can read that and have a sense of what they're coming into. Like, wow. Yeah. Okay. All right, let me just pull up this last one and then we'll just Okay, so this is the other document that was sent, just so that you know what it is. So, oops, sorry. So far, again, this is just a draft in process because, like right now, I'm the only one who is kind of opening with good of the whole and what is good of the whole and what is really the mission behind good of the whole, which is actually that language has been changing. So if you are holding space for one of these Global Heart Resonance calls, you know, maybe not right now, but with a document, or with a script, you can easily run a call. And right now I'm the one who's getting on, and it's not a big deal. It's just like 5 or 10 minutes, but it's just really simple. The beginning part is, what you might say. You don't have to repeat it quote unquote, but it gives you a little outline of how that call would work, and what, remembering to say things about people who might be new, and the cell and the computer, your 5-minute resonance. But what we've discovered is that it's really good to have two people, the support person and the person, someone who's doing the resonance and who's the support, and the other person that's opening the call. Right now it's me, but I'm really looking for having other people open the call, or if you're having a circle yourself. So these are just basically some of the 5 guidelines that we, over the years, felt were really important to hold the field, and we might want to change the languaging of them. Most of it has worked, but anything's, we're open. And then, simply how to end the call, close, and, be aware of what's coming up with good of the whole, that people can continue. And then there's a little bit more about resonance, but that's not necessarily you read that. It's just for you. So this document, again, is a draft in process, and we can talk more about it, or anybody who wants to help refine that, so that it's pretty coherent and clear so that any of you could get on and hold a call or a circle. So go ahead, Need.
Well, on page 2 and 3, there was something I want to ask you on that second document. One is the Deepak Chopra's quote on the 3rd page. I was wondering if that feeling the field of consciousness is the greatest thing you can do. Is that feeling, is it F-E-L-I-N-G or is F-I-L-L-I-N-G? I had the sense is the feeling, the field of consciousness, because that's the only way that we can connect to the field. It is not F-I-L-L-I-N-G on the page 3.
I'll fix, maybe it's just a typo. I don't have to go look.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on page 2, there is the important 5 simple guidelines to follow our call for call. It says there is a natural flow where I think there is one. It is one takes their turn when they feel ready. It is on. So you need to read that one.
Okay, so it's probably just some typos, because honestly, when you asked me, that document has never been finished, and when I do a call, I like it's kind of like my I just scribble, like I just and I know exactly what I'm doing. So
we do our own version.
Yeah, So basically, it's
many years.
Yeah. So it's just but we'll clean it up. I mean, basically, it's just we need to clean it up, and I need to make it so for other people. So yeah. Anyway, so
thank you for doing that.
Okay, so and the reason that he's asking those questions is because she's wanted to do a private group in the LA area, and so she was asking for these documents, but they've never really, in a long time, haven't been addressed. So. I just sent him over. So anyway, so let's just open the call and just take 5 minutes. And, you know, again, this is an initial call. So go ahead, Oriana.
I just wanted to say it's 3:15 and I am going to need to go. So if there's something besides typos that need to get handled or said,
Okay.
I can stay a few more minutes, but I do.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So Nahid, anything more personal, just call me. And thank you for your, you know, wanting to take a look at it. And so my feeling is to come back and create a like a once a month call together, and definitely it's an hour and a half, and to let's deepen into the field so that we can make these documents relatable and they feel resonant, so that anybody who comes into this council or who wants to participate can have a baseline, and as well as discussing what's important. And you know, and taking, you know, my hope tonight was that we're going to kind of like, let's talk about, do a little feedback from Love Lives Here and those calls, and because we really just stepped into making them public. You know, we've been doing this for 6 years, but this year is the first time that there was an agreement to do public calls. And when we do public calls, it actually shifts the resonance, you know, and we do have to explain what we're doing. But so far, it's been really pretty much working. So anyway, I guess I can just send out an email, and let's just have each person share before we go, and end with a beautiful ending. So thank you. Just jump in if there's something you want to share, and I just want to share my gratitude for showing up. And you know, again, this is just a little bit, you know, just getting the cogs greased and going.
Hi, this is June. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Anyway, this is June, and what I just wanted to say is I think it's really important that we go over this document and look at it and see how we feel with it and add to it, not as a critique of right or wrong, but just as a way to expand what we believe that this whole energy field is about. So I'm really right there with you in terms of working on that aspect of it. So I'm complete.
So I would like to see if our next call, it would be emerging into the field kind of longer time, or it's a short one to come to the centering, and it would actively work on the document. So it would nice to have a kind of, you know, planning for that. Yeah.
And for me, just bringing more consciousness to it, reading it over and talking before has really deepened, you know, helped to ground me in this. So the more we go in clarifying the document or finding out how, you know, from each person who participates, that will help to even go deeper and get rooted in this work. Thank you, Shelley, for all that.
I think Danama's doing baby. So, so would someone like just to close us and thank you, and just understand this is just sort of the opening, and let's just have a closing that holds that frequency. So, Henry, do you want to close us? Or
Sure.
Nahid looks like she's ready to leap in.
Nahid, you go ahead if you.
So deep gratitude for residing collectively together in this deliciousness and expansion of oneself. Thank you.
We can end with a yum. Yum.
Yum, yummy, yum, yum.
Blessings.
Yum, yum.
Blessings to all.
Thank you so much for showing up, and your voices are important. Oriana, thank you for bringing that up, and I love you, and see you. We'll work out a time that we can all get together. I'll send a doodle.
Doodle it.
Yeah.